So my number 5 pick is going to be Joey King. I think that this is my tier list kind of goes from, you know, up in the terms of star power for this because it kind of really depends on how young or old or like when they want to place this Batgirl to really be that. So that's kind of really going to depend on, what type of actress they choose. I think, Joey King can do the younger, more high school aged, maybe protege to Batman type of character and stuff like that. So, she has the chops to be able to do it, but it'll be kind of up to it's a chance for growth. So it's a throw out of the bird's nest and you either fall or fly.
My number 5 is Shailene Woodley. She's been in Big Little Lies. Uh, she's been in lots of other films. The Descendants with George Clooney. Um, she was in Snowden with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Um, I like her. She definitely one of those actors who showed she can do drama, she can do a whole range of stuff. She was originally cast as Mary Jane Watson in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but since they cut her out, she never officially was on screen. So technically she has been hired for a project in a superhero film, but hasn't. So this could be a great starring role for her, especially since she doesn't have that baggage
Mm-hmm.
like some other actors have had playing in the superhero realm. So who's your number 4?
My number 4 pick is actually going to be Massey Williams from Game of Thrones. As you can see, hint, hint, Game of Thrones is actually going to take over this list on my end of it because I really think, you're trying to get up into the star power for what it is. So you want someone, I think Batgirl should be in the, you know, entering college to just out of college range. That's where I think Batgirl kind of sets itself apart, where it's able to kind of take in there's still a coming of age aspect to Batgirl
Mm-hmm.
for it, and I think Williams can do that. That was her arc in Game of Thrones, and that's kind of what I think this should be in for that stuff. And the one thing that she has related to some of the other Game of Thrones actresses that will be appearing later in the list, she had more action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like she definitely, and that's an important part of this because it's realistically it's an action movie.
Mm-hmm.
So the acting chops of this is almost, or the action acting chops of it is almost just as important as the regular acting part of this.
My number 4 though is Britt Robertson. She was recently in the new movie I Still Believe, that religious film. She was in Tomorrowland for Disney. She brings this energy to her, like fun energy to her, and she's like in her mid 20s. So she's around that perfect age. Um, and also like with Tomorrowland, which I thought was an original film by Disney. Oh my god! But she was able to go off, you know, off of George Clooney,
Mm-hmm.
and George Clooney's a good actor besides Batman. Um, but
Ironically enough.
ironically, but she was able to go head to head with him and really, do a great job in her scenes. She also worked with Eddie Murphy on the movie Mr. Church another time, where she went up against a really good actor and was able to hold her own. So I think this would be a great jumping off point for her, rather than keep playing these supporting roles, to have a star role
Mm-hmm.
and see what she can do in that.
Mm-hmm. Well, basing off of that, your honorable mention is my number 3 pick. I'm picking Emily Clark as my number 3 because I think that almost exactly beat for beat, kind of what you said. She can do the range. In Game of Thrones, she did the more serious stuff, but in her other works, she was able to kind of show a greater range for it. And that's kind of what when I think of Batgirl, I think of you have the usefulness, but you also have the innocence, the levity of it, the kind of newness
Mm-hmm.
and how it's like how the character of Batgirl is entering into something new. And I think she can do that because that's what she did in Game of Thrones. You know, she started off as, you know, this kind of, let's be honest, weak, wimpy character, and then when she grew into, you know, her role and all that stuff in the Game of Thrones universe, you know, that character like took over.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, she was one of the stars of Game of Thrones, so she has the star power on there. So I think can work.
My number 3 is Mackenzie Foy.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked about this actress a few times during these casting things we've done recently. In the Black Beauty remake on Disney, she was in Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey. She played the younger Jessica Chastain character. I think she's a great actress. She has shown the range between, like I said, working opposite Matthew McConaughey. She's worked with Robert Pattinson in the Twilight movies. She is like in that mid-20s range right now. She has the athletic build for a black girl.
Mm-hmm.
She has the look, the young look to her that, and this does end up being a hit. They have a long, they can do her, have her be Batgirl for a long time. Um, I think she would be perfect in the role. And once again, it would give her a starring role that I think after Black Beauty and Interstellar is like, okay, you can probably have your own franchise.
Number 2 pick is the final Game of Thrones actress on my list. I swear to God, I didn't just watch Game of Thrones and make this list. I have other people. So my last one is going to be Sophie Turner, mainly because already been in superhero films, you know, been in X-Men and the like. You know, you done Marvel, now jump over to DC just like everyone else has. Idris Elba did it, now you can do it too. So, but you know, she's been in the action movies, she's been in superhero films. She was another one that kind of grew up with Game of Thrones as an actress and and her skills as an actress. So, you know, the other thing of why she ranks higher than Emilia Clarke on it, she looks more like Batgirl
Mm-hmm.
in my mind. She has the more, you know, if you were ranking the 3 Game of Thrones actresses I chose on this, you know, Macy, real young. She has that extremely young face. You know, Emily Clark, she has the more elegant look to her.
Mm-hmm.
Sophie, in the middle, split the difference. And that's kind of what Batgirl can be, and I think should be. So you need that youthfulness around it, that, you know, that almost baby face type of look for it. But then you also need, you know, the, you know, growing up, the, you know, maturing look and kind of to grow in for that. So I think that can be really good for them.
My number 2 is Madison Isman. She's been in the recent Jumanji films, playing the more popular girl, the hot one, the blonde. She, once again, has this young look to her. She's blonde. She's shown in Jumanji, plus I've seen her in other films recently that were on Amazon films she did with Sydney Sweeney. She can also do the dramatic stuff. And like I said, she's like early, mid-20s. And again, another actor that they want to get someone young enough that can do it for a long time, like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. She would be the perfect actress to do it. She has the athletic build. To me, she would be one of the top. Plus, she's still unknown. Well, is it other than Jumanji, where people would recognize her from? She has that ability to like become this character, and that can be like Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man. You get so used to just seeing them as that character.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be for her.
My number 1 pick has already had that sort of look, so that could be a detriment or a plus to this. I'm picking Emma Watson. It kind of feels like a no-brainer pick if you're looking for a younger actress. You know, she has the biggest name, hands down. It's like she's one of the biggest name actresses for if that's the age range that you're going for. She has the acting chops to basically do whatever she wants. She's done whatever she wants, and she'll continue to do whatever she wants. And I think she could definitely do it. Now, the problem is this might be too big. She is too big for a role like this, for something that's going to be on HBO Max and the like. So, who knows? But, you know, money can sway anyone.
So yes, my number one is actress Zoe Deutsch.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she's known for movies like Why Him? She was in the Netflix rom-com Set It Up. She was recently... She has the look. She's a redhead. So that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you have to go with the redhead to be Batgirl. You just change the hair color.
It's the iconic image of
Yes.
Batgirl.
But she has shown in movies like Before I Before I Sleep. I think that's the name of it. She showed that range of dramatic, but also fun, in like Why Him? And her mother, Leah Thompson, played in Back to the Future, Marty McFly's mom. So she already has that clout of a known actress as my mother. Um, I think she, like I said, with my Ventana as Ana de Armas, as like the person I first thought of, Zoe Deutsch, it was the first person when they said Batgirl. That's the one I went to first. She has the look. She was in the movie Vampire Academy. Not a great movie, but she had to do a lot of action scenes in that. So she can do the action. She has the athletic built. She's a redhead. She's like in her mid to late 20s. Perfect age. She showed her dramatic side and humorous side. So she basically has the whole package. You just say, here you go.
Mm-hmm.